Hello guys, Platinum Programming here, and today we're going to be doing episode 2 of Python programming tutorial here at Platinum Programming, and today we're going to be discussing how to save a file in Python. That's it, that's all we're going to be doing. But what I will be doing is also explaining what Python is and why we should be using it instead of, let's say, C or C++ or Ruby or anything like that. Anyway, so first off, let's just explain what Python is and why we should be using it. So Python is what's known as a high-level interpreted language. Those of you who are new to programming would be thinking, okay, high-level and interpreted. Now, what do these mean? Because I'm guessing that most of you aren't very savvy in the programming industry and probably don't know what these two concepts mean. Well, high level means that it doesn't talk directly to the hardware. Unlike, I think C++ talks directly to the hardware, not sure though. Assembly language definitely does, but Python, what it does is it creates abstracted code, which then runs and is run through an interpreter. I'll get onto that next. And the interpreter talks directly to the hardware. Now, what is an interpreted language and what is an interpreter? Well, an interpreted language is one that is not compiled. Another concept that we must learn. A compiled language is a language which you have a compiler. The compiler looks through each individual line of code in a text file and then creates another file where it just runs directly as a program is meant to. This has many advantages, many of which I'm not going to be discussing today, because this isn't about compiled languages, this is about Python. Whereas an interpreted language, what it does is, as the program goes along sequentially, it will try to understand what that line is saying and then execute that program directly on the spot. This has some advantages. It makes code much easier to write. It also has some disadvantages, such as because it's having to read, understand, and then execute every single line of code, it also makes it quite slow, I guess. Not that slow, but pretty slow. That's pretty much all there is to Python. What is an interpreter? I also forgot to mention that. An interpreter is a program which takes a file, or in this case with idle, you can do it directly from the interpreter. What it does is, it takes those lines of code and then executes them. So what I just explained, but an interpreted language and interpreter are two different things. So we're gonna open up idle. Gonna make that split screen, not with that, and create a new file. Now in this file, we're going to do exactly as we did yesterday. Print hello, world. I always do this. And this is you may notice that yesterday, print. Well, you may not notice. I actually told you. Hello world. This is what we did yesterday, and it printed it out. But of course, there's quite a lot of disadvantages to having to rewrite this every single time. So what we can do is create files, and we just run these files, and then we don't have to write out the code every single time. We only ever have to do it once. So what you're going to want to do is save, and for the sake of convenience, I'm just going to save this on my desktop. And also for the sake of convenience, we're going to save this as hello world.py. There are many rules to writing a Python program, to saving a Python program at least. The file extension is one of them. You should probably save it as a .py file. I think in the newest version of idle, you don't need to do this. It'll just automatically save it as a .py, but you always should do this just to make sure that it doesn't mess things up. Another one is don't add spaces, because if you're trying to run this in almost any other type of operating system apart from Windows 10, you are bound to run into errors when using spaces. You can use underscores. Underscores are cool, but just don't use spaces. Those aren't cool. So I'm going to save this, and then what you can do is go up to run, hit run module, or F5 or FN F5 depending on your keyboard variant, and over here, boom, you see hello world, and it just prints it out. And over here I can just hit F5 again and does it again. Isn't that so much easier than having to do print hello world every single time? Of course it is, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you this. So that's pretty much all you have to do for this episode. Be sure to subscribe. I noticed how I had 70 views on the last episode within 2 days of uploading. A day of uploading actually. I was very impressed with that. I had gained 4 subscribers in a single day, and I had found really nice comments. So make sure that you comment if you liked it, or if you disliked it, as long as it's the good type of comment, not like you're gay or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, comment down below for any suggestions on what I should teach apart from Python. Subscribe. That's pretty much it, I guess. As always, thanks for watching.